Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. Another day, another drama, and today we're going to be talking about James Charles yet again. If you haven't seen my previous video titled Nick Snyder Won't Stop, I will place a card for that up over here as well as down in the description down below, so definitely make sure you go and check that out as well. Well, James Charles is involved in some drama today based on a TikTok trend that is going around called the mugshot challenge. Now, if you have no idea what this challenge is, it's basically a challenge where people put on makeup to make it look like they were arrested and their makeup is all smeared and they have blood and bruises on their face like they were in some kind of fight, or as some people are assuming that they were abused in some type of way. Now, James Charles is not the only one who is participating in this challenge. Obviously, lots of people over on TikTok are participating in that challenge, as well as people like Corinna from the Vlog Squad and Danielle Kahn as well. Now, let's be honest, the only reason that James Charles is the one receiving the most amount of hate on this is because he has the most followers. But let's go ahead and take a look at some things that people had to say who did not agree with what he was doing. Nick Snyder tweeted, "This is not it at James Charles," to which someone replied saying, "It's gross and unnecessary. End." And someone else replied saying, "Just when then we're looking up for him, he does this. Why?" Now, if you guys don't know, James Charles does have his new reality competition show called Instant Influencer coming out on the 24th of this month, and some people are now speculating, was he doing this to try to drum up a little bit more attention, so then that way it would draw in some more views to his new competition series. Now, I don't know if that is an actual thing. If anything, I feel like this would end up hurting him in the long run and his views for that competition series, but that's just my opinion. Nick then continued on by saying, "I don't care who it is or what the challenge is. Every single time someone does a makeup look like there's some sort of domestic violence, the internet gets into an uproar because it's what? Disgusting to glorify something like that. Maybe y'all didn't hear that there has been a rise recently because of the isolation/quarantine of domestic violence because victims are stuck literally with their abusers. So please go on about how it's a TikTok challenge. I pray you're never in a situation like that." Now, I can totally see where Nick is coming from, because if you have been involved in a situation like this, that is going to be the first place that your mind takes you when you see a photo like this, is that it's of somebody who has been abused. Now, this isn't always the case. Obviously, people get arrested for lots of different things, but unfortunately, there are laws in place that are even more ridiculous than getting arrested for a crime that you have committed. I have lived in a state in the past that if somebody comes up to you and starts picking a fight with you and they hit you and you decide to defend yourself, you instantly are arrested as well, because it's called assault by mutual consent. So even though you are defending yourself, you then get charged with assaulting that other person just because you hit back. The only way that you would not get arrested is if you literally just sat there and let them attack you and you didn't defend yourself. Petty Page then tweeted, "I don't know how I feel about this. I kind of feel like the fashion show. I get where they were aiming, but it was in bad taste for many." She then quote tweeted that and said, "The sad part of this is he could have used it as an opportunity to spread awareness, to show that the face of abuse can be anyone, and that with people being in isolation, we need to check on each other. Post a donation link. Do something positive, not just for views and clicks." And I can agree with Paige here that he could have used this as an opportunity to spread awareness and to help raise some money for abuse victims. Now, when he started to get a lot of backlash for this, he could have easily just updated his description and said, "You know what, guys, here, let's make sure that we are donating to the abuse victims. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that this was insensitive to some people. I do apologize, but let's go ahead and make sure that we do help everybody, especially in this time of need." Now, like I said, James Charles was obviously not the only one participating in this challenge. There were other influencers as well, as Spillsesh points out in this tweet. Spillsesh tweeted, "All I'm gonna say is if you're gonna get mad at James Charles for doing the mugshot quote-unquote trend, you need to be mad at all the other influencers doing it too, with just as big of an audience. I know people come for James because they think it's cute, but he isn't the only one here." And I completely agree with Spillsesh that James Charles is not the only one who is doing this challenge with a huge following, and he should not be the only one taking the backlash for it. Like I said, Corinna from the Vlog Squad has been in this challenge, as well as Danielle Kahn, and they both have a huge following as well. T-Spill tweeted out, "Trigger warning. I'm interested to hear your opinions on the James mugshot photo. For those of you confused, there's a trend on TikTok where you do your makeup like you have just had a fight/got arrested. A lot of people are upset because they feel like it's glamorizing abuse. Thoughts?" Followed by, "Context. It's called Mugshot Challenge on TikTok. You dress up/do your makeup to show how you would look if you were arrested. It became popular after the trend of people showing their real mugshots became popular. Now, I can totally see how this would be a trend after people showing their actual mugshots was a trend, so I can agree with T-Spill that this is just a trend, and it technically, I feel like, doesn't necessarily have to be associated with abuse. Now, if you have been in an abusive relationship, then yes, that is exactly where your mind will end up going. And for those people, I feel sorry that you were in that kind of situation. Unfortunately, that is something that happens in the world, and there is just nothing that we can do about it. But I do feel bad for people who have been in that situation because this can be very triggering for them. Someone replied to T-Spill saying, "It's gross, unnecessary, and insensitive on several levels, and for several reasons. It should have taken everyone who participated 2 seconds to realize this is not a good look and passed on doing it. Sadly, clout trumps consideration of others way too often." And I can totally see where this person is coming from, where they're saying that clout trumps consideration of others, because sometimes people, when they are doing things, don't think of how it's really going to affect others because they have not had the same past experiences that other people have had. Like I said, if you have been somebody who has been in some kind of abusive relationship and you see photos like this, then that's going to instantly trigger those past memories, and it's not going to be good for those people. But with the people who are posting these photos, if they haven't been in that kind of situation, they're not thinking about that, and they're just thinking like, oh, this is a trend and this is fun, so I'm gonna do it and hop on and get some views and get some clicks and get some likes. Another person tweeted, "Not sure if the new mugshots trend implies domestic violence, but either way, not sure how I feel about this. What's cool about violence and/or going to jail? Someone asked Takashi69 how fast he ran out of jail and whether he wants to go back that bad. What do you think?" And now I do agree with this person that this challenge doesn't necessarily imply abuse or anything like that, but why are we glamorizing the fact that people are going to jail? Like, nobody wants to go to jail. I doubt that people wake up in the morning and are like, hey, what can I do today to go to jail so I can take a mugshot photo so I can post it on the internet? No, that's not how this happens. Like, nobody wants to go to jail. And another user tweeted, "At everyone doing the mugshot trend, you could have looked snatched like Lindsay Lohan in her mugshot, but instead you chose to go after something with quote-unquote shock value and emulate what domestic abuse victims suffer through, just so you can get likes? How desperate do you have to be?" Now, I'm not saying that any of these photos are emulating domestic abuse victims, but I can understand how people see that. But also, why does the trend have to be with you with bruises and blood on your face? Like, we had all of those past, like, hot felon mugshots that came out with that one guy that was arrested for like weapons possession and now has like a modeling contract, and there's also been like hot female felons and stuff like that. Why wasn't that a trend? Why did it have to go to a violence and abuse look kind of situation? Now, all of these challenges I think are sometimes just so stupid. Like, I mean, we had the Tide Pod challenge, we had the cinnamon challenge, there's that challenge going around now with people trying to drink liquid through toilet paper rolls. Like, these challenges are just so dumb, but they get people attention, they get people views, and I feel like that's why people keep doing that. But since all of this came out, James Charles has deleted his post and issued the following statement. "Despite the fact that hundreds of other influencers and artists have done something similar, I deleted the mugshot trend because it was never my intention to trigger anyone, and it's a waste of time trying to have an open discussion with people who hate me regardless." Now, again, I feel like if he would have updated his description and just said, you know what, let's go ahead and donate to abuse victims and stuff like that and turn a negative into a positive, he would have gotten less backlash and more praise for bringing awareness to such a serious situation. But instead, he decides to delete the post and say that basically, I'm taking it down because I'm not going to argue with people about this. Well, somebody in the comments replied with the following. "I don't hate you. I don't follow any other people who did it. I do have PTSD from I apologize you were upset, I was triggered." To which James replied saying, "I'm not upset you were triggered, love. I'm sorry you went through that and glad that you are here today." Now, this to me from James seems like a backhanded apology, where he basically said, well, I'm not sorry that I brought up those bad memories for you, but I'm glad that you're still here with us today. To me, that's kind of gross that you would say that you are not sorry that you brought up those terrible memories of a very, very horrible situation that somebody has gone through in their life. Well, another person commented under James' post and said the following. "Boy, you don't have to apologize for everything, get some balls." To which James replied saying, "This is not an apology, LOL." So that reply right there from James makes me feel like, you know what, he just doesn't care. He was upset that he was getting backlash, but he does not care that he was upsetting people at all and that he was bringing up these bad memories of things that happened in their past. He was just upset that people were hating on him and not anybody else. So clearly to me, he just doesn't care. But that is everything that I have for today's video, so I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think that James Charles should be getting as much hate as he is getting, or do you think that it should be going towards everybody else as well and not just towards him? Do you think that these photos are insensitive and nobody should have done them in the first place, or do you think that people are just overreacting? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you like this video, please make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could hit that big red subscribe button and hit the bell icon and set your notifications to all so you'll be notified of every time that I upload a new video. Alright, that's everything for today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!